This is going to be a late Monday money. There's a concept out there that's rarely talked about. And it's one of the most crucial, integral parts of building wealth. And the thing is that it's so easy to see some type of progress to get started, and we think we're really doing something good. And I'm not saying that you're not, okay? And I asked myself all these questions too, okay? This is not anything exclusive. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody else, okay? I asked myself these questions, okay? And the thing about it is, a lot of times nothing, or not nothing, but it really doesn't get addressed. And I think more people want to hear about getting Lambos and, super yacht, $75,000, 5 days on a yacht type of vacations and things of that nature, okay? And all of that is going to be possible. However, you're going to have to master this for that to be able to occur. And the thing about it is that so very few people will address that. They keep things going status quo. They might raise it up just a little bit, start doing a little bit better. But on the big picture, grand scheme of things, they really don't make any adjustments. And the problem with that is that it's like a dog with a leash, a choker on, prohibits moving forward. And the more that we try to move forward, the tougher it becomes. And having to do with this makes things a whole lot simpler and gives us the opportunity to actually grow and earn more. And it's fascinating when you really look at it. And once you start asking yourself a few questions, you'll really start to notice some change occurring. All right, so here it is. We're going to use this for an example. Guy that I mentored that's already bought a rental property, got a great deal on it, named Jared. Jared's a travel nurse, okay? Jared makes $90 an hour, okay? Here's the thing. I can pay somebody $50 basically per hour to cut my grass, okay? I got a small yard. It takes about an hour. Usually anywhere I find somebody $35, $50 to cut the grass, all right? Now, why I'm saying all of this is because this is absolutely crucial, because generally speaking, it works, okay? We'll just say this. I got a job and we'll say I make $60,000 a year. So then I'm gonna start a side hustle to bring in more money, okay? So we'll just say we go in, we buy a ride-on lawnmower, we get a push mower, we get a blower, we get an edger, weed whacker, boom, we're done, okay? So we'll say $2,500, and now we got a lawn maintenance business, okay? So then we add, we'll say $15,000 a year additional, okay? But guess what? Instead of 40 hours a week, now we're working 65, okay? My buddy Gerald, this is where he talks about, this is what we call the suck. Generally speaking, everybody in building wealth is going to go through a period of time that we call the suck. It's not fun, it's not glamorous, it's not sexy, this is where people quit, okay? This is where the mind takes over and says, you're not worthy, you're not going to do enough, you can't do this, you're too black, you're too white, you know, you're too tall, too short. Whatever that voice is that talks to you in your head, this is when it's going to be loudest, okay? This is the part that sucks. And generally speaking, this is going to be year 1 to 5. I'm not going to tell you it's going to last all that long, but generally speaking, okay? Because this is what it looks like. You take off a little bit upward and everything, and then about year 5, this is how it goes. All right. This is the magic of compound interest. This is what ends up happening. This is where it goes from having $5, $10, $20, $25, $35, $50, $100. Boom. And there you have it. Here's the thing that I'm telling you folks is that we call this trading time for dollars. Well, it really has a term. Leverage, okay? Jared makes $90 an hour. He is much better leveraged than the guy that's getting paid $50 an hour to cut grass, okay? There's a $40 difference right there. Jared gets a lot of overtime, so you figure that $90 all of a sudden turns into whatever with that and everything. The reason that I'm harping on this so much is that when you can increase your leverage, okay? Here's the thing. You can go to Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and you can get a loan to buy a rental piece of property, okay? Single family home, whatever it is, to rent, to make money, and somebody else is going to pay your note, okay? So now, we'll just say like the house is $200,000. Well, guess what? You're using somebody else's money to make that happen, all right? And so when you sit there and look at it, and we'll say like you keep that house for 5 years, okay? You pay $200,000 for it. You get paid rent all 5 years and everything. You make $300 a year. That's $3,600. So we'll say roughly you get about $50,000, $52,000 net profit out of those 5 years. But guess what? The house went from $200,000 to $250,000 the worth. And now we paid the loan down some as well. In 5 years, it's not going to be that much, but still, it did get paid down some. So then what ends up happening is that we rent somebody's $200,000 on our good name, okay, it's called your credit score, all right, your reputation. We were able to do that, and we made money with it, as opposed to if we have to work and save up and get $200,000 to go and buy a $200,000 house. That's hard to do. It's a slow grind. My grind has been is I bought really low-priced houses that have been in bad shape, put the money into them myself, and then renting them out, okay? And I increased the value of them 300, 400, 500% when I get them. You know, I paid $5,000 for a house, and it's been rented 4.5 years, all right? Did have to do a little bit of work, long story and everything like that. But leverage is where it's at, because what that does is that lets us go up exponentially, okay? If you are the only thing that is making money, and what do I mean by that? I have rentals. They make me. I'm not involved with it. I manage them, I own them, the company owns them, manage them, we work on them and everything, but it's not like I have to show up every day to open the door to let somebody in, okay? That's just not happening, all right? Now, stocks. Stocks will put money in your pocket. You buy them one time, you get a dividend, we'll say it's 7% a year or whatever it is, and that money gets deposited. Now, you can do one of two things. You can take it, put it in your pocket, but be careful, you're gonna have to pay taxes on it, or you can let it roll over. Okay, and then it keeps on buying more stock and then more stock. And then before you know it, you sit there and you look at your statement, and the statement keeps going up, up, and up as far as the number of shares that are in the book. Okay, that's kind of like where it's kept at. Now, the thing about it is that when we keep buying rental properties, guess what? We're leveraging ourselves. We are able to duplicate ourselves. Let's use this for an example. You get a car lot, okay? Can you make money as a car salesman? Absolutely. I know a guy here in town makes $300,000. Took him about 8 years to do that, okay? What did he do? He was always the first person there, last person to leave. and would take 1 day off every month. That was it. True grinder, okay? True grinder. People just call him and say, hey, I need to get a car. He's not at the lot anymore. He's around all day, does whatever he wants, and people call him, and then he meets them, he sets appointments, okay? Now, a lot of you aren't willing to give up your weekends, all of those types of things. I get it, okay? He had a vision, all right, and he made that come to fruition. So here's the thing is that you can you make money? Okay. Here's the thing though, the guy that owns the car lot, okay, he makes money off every car being sold. The guy that I know, he makes money off of every car that he sells. So the only way that he's going to leverage his time is if he gets more time back, which he has, or he gets people selling for him, and he does. He gets a lot of referrals, okay? So the thing about it is that you have to understand that time is money, okay? And this rentals and stocks are so crucial, all right? Because they will put money into your pocket and you only have to purchase them one time. To make money on cars, you have to buy another car. For every one you sell, you have to buy another one, okay? For every house you flip, you have to buy another one to flip. You have to sell it to get paid. You buy a rental property, you get paid monthly, yearly, whatever it is, your lease agreement is, but you get paid on a consistent basis, you know? I bought my first rental 20 years ago. I still own that house. It rents for $1,200 a month. All right? You want to talk about cash flow, you want to talk about, and the appreciation hasn't been that great. I bought it for $25 and I got a home equity line or I refinanced it back in probably 06, 07, got $45,000, so I made 20 right there. It's probably worth about 75 or 80 today. It's just a great rental property. I mean, it's virtually bulletproof. Nothing special about it, nothing fancy. It's block house, central heat and air, does great. And, like I said, it's a great rental property. That's the thing is that, that property will continue to pay somebody for the next 80 to 100 years. I don't know, but that's the beauty of having rental properties. A buddy of mine, Rick Jarman, said, I remember seeing this duplex in the 50s, and 3 years ago he said, that duplex is still there, and it's still paying people rent, 50 years later, 60 years later. So you do the math on that, and that's pretty huge. But here's the thing is that we'll just say if you make $35 an hour, how can you get that amount up, okay? Now, for every hour that you spend doing something, we'll just say maybe you start a side hustle and, talk to the accountant, and he's got he does their books, sells $1.5 million of jewelry on Etsy every year, okay? That'd be a heck of a side hustle if you started something and started making, $10,000 every week, and maybe, okay, you make $4,500 and you're just doing it part-time. That's a considerable chunk of change right there. And what they did was they leveraged their time, okay? This is what's crucial, folks, is that, we all have 168 hours in every week. What you do with yours, what Bill Gates does, what Jeff Bezos does, that becomes the difference in the sense that of how much money they have coming in every hour. If you'll sit there and concentrate and ask yourself, what can I do to make this number go up, okay, then you're going to be that much better off. I don't make the rules, but I do have to play by them. If you want 15 minutes of my time, I'm not trying to sell you on my mentorship. I want you to find somebody that you relate to, that you want to emulate, that you think has something to offer, and I'm involved with them. It'll be the best money that you ever spend. And here's the thing is that, just an example with me, I got 20 years of being a landlord. You want 20 years of experience, you sign up with me, you get all of that, okay? If you want 20 years of stock picking, you find a trader that's been doing it for 20 years. If you find somebody that's, an Olympic cyclist that, has won 3 Tour de France, then you get all of their experience and you didn't have to spend any time. So that's a great example on leveraging your time. You get all of their experience, you get all of their knowledge in a much shorter time, okay? For me to get 20 years of being a real estate investor, I had to put in 20 years, okay? You sign up with me, you get 20 years, okay? You know, if you had Lance Armstrong for a coach on cycling, guess what? You get a lifetime of championship results that person can teach you. And so it's like you go from baby steps to, you know, running a 40-mile marathon, you know, and it almost is going to be like doing it overnight. If you were to get somebody of that caliber, I can't stress this enough, okay? And a lot of people are like, oh man, I go to YouTube and I watch this and I watch that. Okay, I get it, all right? There's a lot of great information out there, all right? Be careful who you listen to. The other thing is that you can't beat when you have somebody that you're in touch with on the phone, you have a personal, intimate relationship, they know details about how you do things, how you spend your money, all that kind of stuff, and then they're asking you, what is it that you're doing? You need to make 5 offers a day. You need to make 5 offers a week. Now, why aren't you doing it? See? And that guy on YouTube, he ain't talking back to you. Hello? So, you know, I hear people all the time say, you know, what would you wish you have done? And I wish I had gone and found somebody, you know, that was in a position that I wanted to be at and said, hey, you know, what do I need to do for you to teach me? You know, I really wish I had done that early on and everything. So there you have it. Hope you have a wonderful day.